Shabbat Shalom everyone at home as you're about to transform your kitchen. To all of you here inside our synagogue. Shabbat Shalom to festival explorers who've been making challah all afternoon and you might hear them. So Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Tonight is Shabbat Resouled. Couldn't be more delighted to welcome them back. And we begin, as always, with Shalom Aleichem. Page 6.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet. Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom. Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zehem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Our candles now. I've asked Beverly to light candles for us here in our synagogue, but actually Rafi and Isaac and Ezra and Jonah have been lighting candles and learning about the candle blessing all afternoon. So I'm going to invite us here to stand as Beverly lights candles for us, and those of you at home, this is your moment to grab your candles ready to light. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Let's sit down again as we go into Lahadodi, which you can find on page 9. Some of us will stand for the final verse, face the door to welcome Shabbat, really. So, children, if you want to, right at the end, stand up, ready. You could open the back door for us, and I'll let you know when.
Shabbat Emon Tiferet Balitila V'kvat Shabbat Yehuva Melacha Ki Yimako Avaracha Merosh Mikedem Nasucha Sof Maaseh B'Makshavat Ha'ila Et Hadodi Likrat Kala P'nei Shabbat Mekavela P'nei Shabbat Mekavela Et Hadodi Likrat Kala P'nei Shabbat Mekavela P'nei Shabbat Mekavela Itorari Kibarek Umiori Ori Shir Daberi Davod Adonai Alai Kigla Boi B'Shalom B'Teret Bala Gam B'Simcha U'Tola Tov Emunei Am Sekula Boi Kala Lechadodi Likwata P'nei Shabbat Mekavela P'nei Shabbat Mekavela 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch
the Shema as we mark the passing of the seasons, the changing of light and darkness, as we on the bima every week or standing here see the light changing as we move towards winter. We're at the foot of page 10. Baruch atah Adonai HaMa'ariv Aravim. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto. Le'olam ha'ed. וכל נפשך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וכשרת מאות על ידיך והיו לטות אבות בעיניך ותרתם על מזוזות ביתך ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Emet. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, eternal one, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors, delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule, and then full of joy we sang together.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא נורא תהילות עושה פלא אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד לעולם ועד
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
השכיבנו אדוני
we praise our God who spreads a shelter of well-being, a Sukkot Shalom over us and all who live on earth. Stand when you're ready as we join Dean and Gaby and Michelle in Adonai Sefatai Tiftach. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Zocher chasdei avot ve'imahot, umevi gula livnei v'neihem, למען שמו ביהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע מגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי המתים. קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין לנו אלוה מבלעדיך. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. Let's sit down if you choose as we go into marking Shabbat with Vashamru.
Vishamru, Israel, Shabbat, La'asor, Shabbat, V'dorotam, V'ritolam, V'dorotam,
Shekoach, I always want to say at the end of this one. Baruch atah Adonai Makadesh HaShabbat. So we mark Shabbat together, this moment in the week, no matter how our days have been, no matter whether this week has been one of challenge, whether it's been easier, whether we've been happy for Friday to come, or actually it's been an easy, contenting week for us. There is something about hearing those words and just reminding us where we are in time. We're on page 18. Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu b'yamcha Yisrael, u'tefilatam b'ahavat takabel, u'tehilo ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai she'otecha levadacha b'yira na'avod. And as we offer our paragraph, our blessing for gratitude, for appreciation, as always, I invite those of you who are at home to pop in the chat things you feel particularly appreciative or grateful for. We thank and praise you for being our God and God of our ancestors. We can always rely on you and feel safe. We thank and praise you for caring for our lives, for connecting our souls with you, for the miracles of life, wonders large and small, that remind us you are here every moment of every day. We praise you, our God, and joyfully thank you for all life's goodness.
Shalom.
Yoseh HaShalom. So as we take a moment for silent prayer and reflection, this week's Torah portion, such a beautiful one that reminds us that Avram and Sarai, as were their names before they became Abraham and Sarah, were told to leave all that was familiar, all that was safe, all that was known to them, to travel to a place that was unknown and thoroughly new for them. And obviously it offers us so many resonances. I spoke about refugees this week in email, but tonight I'm thinking about each one of us in our own lives and the risks and journeys we've taken, things that have worked out extraordinarily well and we would never have had any idea, and things possibly that have not, but nonetheless we took that beginning and that risk. And I would like to just share a poem by Mary Oliver, Wild Geese, just to allow us to reflect and consider before we go into a moment of silent prayer. And I'm just going to screen share for those at home, and for those here, you'll just have to listen to me read, sorry. "You do not have to be good," she wrote. "You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese high in the clean blue air are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things." So let's take a moment just of quiet reflection. going to ask us all to stand for Aleinu, page 20. I should share with you some of lovely, it's so nice, we've got Charlotte back in the congregation. Charlotte's home from hospital, so lots of people saying how grateful they are that Charlotte is back. I express gratitude to Louise Gelman for lending me a good sleeping mat for sleeping on the floor of Nottingham Synagogue tomorrow night with Zoe and all our teenagers. So I'm very grateful to Louise this week. And health and care workers, obviously, and Josie is on a holiday and we're still managing. And so thank you to Paul so much. And Leslie's sister coming for Hanukkah, and lovely day in Kew for Jane. So just so nice that we can really feel like we are part of one community. So Aleinu on page 20.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'tech le'lulah le'yotzeh bereishi, asher samtechu le'akel shemo, v'nor aleinu le'amlik ma'avutov, v'nor aleinu le'amlik ma'avutov.
Before we turn to the yard sites that fall in our community, I just have to acknowledge for us as a congregation the murder, the death of Sir David Armis, Conservative MP. I'm sure we all thought that such acts of violence would not happen again, and here we are. So I feel very much thinking of his family, of all those who loved and knew him, of him dying in the course of a day's work, of leaving home this morning and going to work. And so really thinking of him and his memory, which no doubt will be for a blessing. In our own congregation, we think of Izzy Benjamin, friend of Dalma Loevi Araniba, of Tilly Benning, mother of Gillian J., of Martin Fox, husband of Loretta Fox, of Vera Karstadt, mother of Philip Karstadt, grandmother of Elliot, of Jack Silverman, father of Anita Friedman, of Ronald Sulkin, father of Elizabeth Sulkin, and of Dinah Kafka, mother of Barry Kafka. Zichronam livracha, May their memories be for a blessing, and may those who recall and remember their loved ones be comforted in their loss as we say the words of the Kaddish with them. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach yutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yom echon, u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, Magala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mavorach le'olam al maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitada v'yitale v'talal shemei dekudusha brichu. Leila min kol berchata v'sherata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiram bi'alma v'imru Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shamaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru Amen. Sit down and close our service with Yasimcha Elohim, our blessing to each other, to our children, our Shabbat blessing. Page 27. What we just discovered now is almost like the beginning of a folk story, the synagogue that ran out of challah, because we've realized that we are down to our last bit. But as our tiny tots made challah today, is that what everyone's having?
No, Rebecca, I found some.
Oh, you found some challah. Okay, so there's a good ending to the story. I was imagining we could be in the Jewish Chronicle, the synagogue that ran out of challah, and who find themselves in the centre of the Jewish Fertile Crescent of Finchley and still run out of challah. So.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon himchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh bereshit, ki hu yom techila l'mikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'chata ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thanks so much for coming in.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.